not Outlook. I'll have to help you set it up.
Just might help me set it up also.
I have no idea how to set it up on Android, but we'll get through it.
Sweet.
You gotta go in and like put like what server mailbox it is, because it's run through Bluehost. But it's cool though because you don't pay extra for emails. Like you can have thousands of emails and not pay any extra.
You get Jeremy.
That
there.
is cool.
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
He also
Are,
has an
are you on? Have you started?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me know when you do.
JER.
I'm about to
EMI?
like now.
To the 10. Put it on. On his feet. Here's Walters now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? First down. First down. Second down. Second down. Third down. Third down. Touchdown. Touchdown. We the GOAT. We the GOAT. We the most. We the most. We gon' win. Number one at the end. Put your hands up. If you bleed blue, stand up so we can see you. We are the coach and we wear hard shoes. Get out our way or we gon' step on you. We bleed blue. Bleed blue. We blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue. Bleed blue. What about you? Bleed blue. Bleed blue.
Call in, make your comments, and we're doing the show at 6. Because I'm a dumbass and forgot the game started at 7 when I thought it started at 8. So we upped it to 6 o'clock so we can get done, get you guys informed, hopefully get you laughing a little bit, relax, ready for the Colts game. And whatever other games you don't watch.
All of them.
Did we ever figure out if there's 11 today?
I can tell you.
I swear I saw that somewhere.
You keep saying that.
8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 today, 2 tomorrow, and
Never
3
question the
on
man.
Saturday.
Never question the man.
We had a whole argument earlier about whether or not there were 11 today.
Yes, there are 11 today.
One thing I gotta bring up to everybody, why the change? Why the rebrand?
Yes, that needs to be addressed. Lots of questions.
We're getting lots of questions about that. As everybody knows, I built a sports app called Burning Pets. So I started a Facebook page called Burn and Bet to help funnel people to my app. Well, dealing with partners and things like that, they don't always go as smoothly as you would like them to be. So I am having to shut down Burn and Bet and rebrand everything that I do because of legal mumbo jumbo, jargon, bargain, whatever that legal stuff is that I can't say without getting in trouble. This is bossy.
Well, you can't see him very well.
They're telling me to get as close to you as possible.
Ooh, I like
There's a
it.
bromance going
I
on.
like
There
Tell you got slack on his mic cord.
I think I'm close enough.
you go. No, you're good now.
Oh,
I
no,
could-
you
you
bring it
were.
on in, big boy. Bring it on in. Huddle up.
This will be my last show.
Au contraire, my friend.
Right, yeah.
So anyways, legal stuff, I gotta shut Burn and Bet down completely. I won't close the page, the Facebook page, until we get everybody transferred over
Everybody.
to D-Line Sports. Now what's cool about this is Dalton is a professional journalist. And he does a lot of stuff, and he's been working and building on his own brand. Blue HQ, Sports Media Pass, what else am I forgetting?
Break the fourth.
Break the Fourth, what's the entertainment stuff you guys do?
Break the fourth.
Oh, that's Break the Fourth.
CatescoveBears.com. Throw that out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, what's gonna happen with D-Line Sports is we are partnering up with Dalton. We're gonna create our own new entity. He's gonna handle all the journalistic piece. He
I
gets
take offense to that, but it's fine.
not all of it. Kristen's gonna be a big part of it too. She's a super writer. If you guys have read anything she's written. In the last piece you did about America's team, the Dallas, I really thought you was gonna be super prejudiced because you're a Dallas fan, but you didn't, and I was so proud of you. And that was a great piece, great piece. So what we're doing is we're collaborating together. We're gonna make our own entity, and we're just gonna grow together. And maybe one of these days we might have enough to go to McDonald's and get a small fry or something. I don't know.
That's lofty goals.
That is lofty goals. Because the size we are, we're not looking at no small
No,
fry.
we're
I
trying to-
promise you that.
We're trying to go with the apple slices these days. That's what we're doing.
But that's the quick of it. If anybody else has got any other questions that you guys want to know more about, we're very transparent. So just reach out to me. I'll be happy to fill you in. We are pretty much an open book anyways with what we do. But we gotta pay some bills now, Dalton, or we're not gonna do much collaborating at all.
I love how he's talking to you like I'm not here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't got back to that. I can't swivel both ways.
You can just cut him out of the
Well,
conversation.
Let's do
talk
it
back
there.
and
Just
forth,
the two of
right?
us.
Well, last time Dalton was here, him and Coach had their own conversation. I
so-
sat here for an hour going,
Me too.
can I say anything?
I was feeling the same
Yeah,
way
that's a
that
good
day.
point. Yeah, good job, Coach.
You know, Dalton, it's kind of hot in here.
It is.
A little hot
It's
in
a little
here.
warm.
Yeah, I feel like we might want to reach out to our friends at Preferred Mechanical.
Good segue.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that. Good job. I'm going to talk to her now. She knows how to segue into paying bills.
I'm just tears a pretty face.
Okay.
Oh, wow. You're failing.
Wow.
Sorry. If you open the door,
That's
I'm
rough.
going to walk through it. That's
Wow.
what happens.
You're going to send her to the sewage game.
Right.
Cover her first piece.
That would be fun, though. Okay, anyway, it's hot in here. We should call our friends at Preferred Mechanical.
For mechanic, area code 317-924-4042. Tell them D-Line Sports sent you. Get 10% off your bill.
Residential only.
Residential only. Yes. And if you do this, you can just get a service checkup. Get your AC or your heater's broke and you get it fixed. If you have them come out and you tell them D-Line, you get 10% off and you get entered into a chance to win a game day 50-yard line seats with yours truly, Big Pete. You can't beat that. You get money off, you get go to a game, or a chance to go to a game, which we haven't figured out. I gotta get with Greg over at Preferred and find out which game he's
Yeah.
talking. You just can't beat that deal. And you won't beat their service. They're excellent, excellent people. They ain't gonna upcharge you for things that you don't need. If you don't need a new system, they're not gonna sell you a new system. They'll tell you what it's gonna take to fix their old system. So there you go. And we also want to thank,
I suck at this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
I'm breaking it out. I'm going in for it. I like it.
So so I'm looking at this and I'm seeing this. I don't have any comments on mine.
Why not?
I don't know.
You're an admin.
I don't know.
Carvey Jackson said hello, everyone.
Hi, Carvey. There we go.
We miss Carvey.
But I still only have 2.
Carvey's my road dog. He's the bomb.
Carvey's not everybody. I only have 2 comments.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, there's clearly some. Anyway,
Technical difficulties.
whatever. If you're commenting, I'm sorry. I can't see you.
I'll give you my phone here in a second, and then you
I
can
don't know why I can't.
do what you get paid to do.
There's only 2 comments.
That's what I'm seeing, but you
I've
should see
got-
his phone. There's a
I've got
ton.
a crap load.
I only see 2.
Y'all are taking biologically challenged. And yes, I'm verbally challenged, so it's a good fit.
Okay, I'm glad that I can only see 2.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Alright.
Isn't that weird?
Alright, anyways, back to the show. Back to paying bills.
Oh,
One
you're
of-
just seeing who's watching. Okay, that's all. That's all. There's only 2 comments.
What?
You're just getting the notifications as to who's watching.
Oh, okay.
It's a the work in progress, kids. Sorry.
Alright. So anyways, want to say a special thanks to Vapor Kings. They support our producer, Tony, and all his esports stuff. They're also his employer, so he can pay his rent. But they're awesome people. I mean, you can go in their shops, and if you smoke and you want to quit, they'll help you out. You need CBD oil. They've got all the information. They got even free samples I heard they give out from time to time, which I see somebody forgot Kristen's free samples. But anyways, you know, it's that whole shop local thing, you know. And my cousin runs a cleaning company out of Franklin called The Cleaning People, and she's got a Facebook page and all that, and she posted something to the effect that when you shop local, you help them support kids' baseball teams, football teams, things like that, where big corporations do not do that. And that hits home. When you buy big corporation stuff, they're not supporting your local area football teams and baseball teams and girls cheerleading and all that good stuff that we live for as parents. So, shop local, be smart, keep it all in the family. That's pretty cool.
And then we got to thank Beach Grove Bowl. We appreciate you.
Will not ever forget Beach Grove
No,
Bowl.
not ever.
We need to start tagging them. Do they got a Facebook
I think
page?
so.
We need to start tagging them so
Oh, Jim's calling me.
why didn't you call the
I don't
hotline?
know. Why didn't you call the hotline?
We're gonna stop the whole show because you've called. To talk Google, love you, baby.
What's the? Okay, I'll text you the phone number. Okay.
No, it's on the.
Can I text you the phone number?
Anyways, Dalton.
I'm
I
on
ain't
the
talking
show.
to her
Okay,
no
we're in
more.
the middle of the show.
It's about those sports things.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, there's a lot of sports going on tonight. And last week we had camp going on. You went up to the Hall of Fame game, the induction ceremony.
I did. It was a pretty cool experience.
I bet. Why didn't you take me? I'll carry your bag and the camera and your dirty socks. And
So-
start getting me into some of that stuff, man. You're all over the place.
So, funny story. Good friend of mine and a guy that I'm bringing with us to this merger, Kyle Nash, told me that, hey man, you can't cover the whole thing by yourself. I'll be fine. It'll be okay. About 3 hours into the second day, I'm like, oh, he was right. I can't cover everything by myself. I went back to the hotel and was asleep by about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a lot of stuff and there's a lot of ground to cover. Good experience. Got to meet Warren Moon. Super nice guy.
Well, with this merger, maybe next time you're out, places like that, you can go live for everybody so they can.
Some places won't let you go live.
Really?
Like if you're at a NBA practice or something like that.
Well, that makes sense.
You can't go
Practice
live.
is one thing.
Yeah. So it
You
just
should have been
depends.
able to go live at the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame stuff.
Well, and like at the Colts camp, I know once they get into formation, things like that, you guys can't take pictures and things like that.
Correct.
That I understand. But if you get a chance, go live for everybody so they can feel like they're there.
You gotta add me to the page as a admin or a editor or something.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
We should have thought of that before we went on there.
Just saying.
You just want to point out my shortcomings already.
That was the plan. That was the whole
Good
plan.
thing I
for
got
that.
my sweater rag with me, 'cause this is getting burned up in here.
We are not hurting as bad as Notre Dame football, I'll tell you that.
What happened?
Did their air conditioner blow?
No, it did
They're
not.
tied in.
Their tight end apparently suffered a broken collarbone today. One of their rookie, I believe, offensive linemen is also out for the season. If I'm not mistaken, Jameer Smith broke his hand, running back. So they're losing some key contributors. Smith was a guy that I pegged out of the spring game as a pretty fascinating guy to watch. Really good running back, pretty talented. Cole Kmet was projected to be their starting tight end, and Quinn was pretty phenomenal freshman. So they're in some trouble
He's a
early.
big old corn-fed boy too.
I'm sure there are many other people that would love to play football for another team.
Oh, there is, but
That's a lot of talent to lose before
Yeah,
you
that
even
really
play
is.
week one.
you talk best of the best there.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Yeah, for a Midwestern school that hasn't won the national championship since
It's been a while.
'93.
Yeah, they're not even considered a contender this year.
Notre Dame?
They'll make the playoffs.
Oh,
Not for a championship, they're not going to be a contender.
Right, they're in
I
the playoffs. It's 4
strongly disagree that they're not in contention for a championship.
They're due.
Maybe with some of the injuries now, but before the injuries, they were for sure a contender. So they have one of, if not the best, returning defensive line in the country.
She only reached for her logo.
Please, they never win.
What is it? Is that it? Throwing up gang signs on the camera now.
Now I'm just going to talk to you, Pat. That's how we're doing this.
That's what me and Coach usually do.
Right.
We give her a few seconds on it, and then we go on about it.
Wow. So undervalued. I feel
So-
like I'm a teacher again. Jeez.
It's a New Mexico thing.
Don't trust me, I know.
Oh, man. Who'd you get to talk to at the whole thing?
Well, the coolest guy I got to talk to was Ray Lewis.
Nice.
Yeah, and the whole motivational spiel that he gives off on TV, that's not a gimmick. That's real life.
Really? So he
Um,
just talks like that on a regular basis?
I literally
Wow.
got done interviewing him and I ran through a wall. Turned around and ran through the first wall I saw. Yeah.
I got
I mean, the guy is freaking huge. I've been like next to Quentin Wilson, and he's an offensive guard. You stay next to Ray Lewis, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you
you're
been
a
next
big
to
dude.
Justin Houston?
I have.
I have,
Ooh.
yeah.
That's 3 grown men in one.
Go stay next to Ray Lewis. Nothing to take away from Justin Houston, but Ray Lewis, you couldn't pay me any amount of money to take a hit from him. Still, at this, how long has he been retired? What, 6 years?
No, I don't think it's been that
Yeah, because I
long.
think 5 years till you're eligible to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
And he went in last year, so at least 6.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, you still couldn't pay me to take a hit from him. He's a big dude. So, Warren Moon, pretty cool guy. I got a chance to talk to Tony Dungy and Bill Pullen.
Nice.
Both of those
Everybody
guys.
here loves Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
Coach is coach forever. I mean, he's
My
embedded
goodness,
in
he's
our
such a
hearts.
soft-spoken guy.
He really is.
I mean, you go up, you talk to him, shake your hand, hey, how are you? Just a super nice guy. Trying to think of who else I got the opportunity to interact with. First of all, Ed Reed, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to his speech.
I did not.
Awesome speech. Pretty much everybody that talked gave really good speeches. Ed Reed, he talked about the environment that he had come from, some of the struggles he had faced. I don't think anybody that talked left to dry out in the house all night. So it was a pretty cool experience. And of course, next year, we know who's probably going to be going in, Peyton. He's eligible next year.
I'll definitely be there.
So, I will be too. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Reggie Wayne's also eligible next year.
I don't know.
No, he didn't.
Is it next
he
year
didn't
or
retire with Peyton. He retired
Is it
2
2021
years
maybe?
after Peyton, I think.
I know the
Who
latest.
knows this information out there? Let us know.
I don't know.
We gotta research his history.
I think you're right. I think it's 2021 he's
She
eligible.
might look it up.
I'm not going to look it up. No.
Okay.
He won't be a first ballot.
We're gonna
No.
cut her Peyton out.
That's fine for it.
No, Reggie won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, but next year they have 20 inductees going into the Hall of Fame.
So, okay, what's the thought process behind that? Because it kind of feels like that's making it a little less exclusive.
So there's a couple different things they have going on. The first thing, it's the 100-year anniversary of the league, so they're doing something special for
Are we
that.
going across the
I thought that
history
was
of
this
football?
Give me a second.
2019 is the 100-year anniversary.
Well, next year's their Hall of Fame celebration to celebrate the 100th birthday of the league.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The NFL Hall of Fame is not connected to the NFL,
It is
correct?
not.
Correct. It is the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So not the NFL Hall of Fame. That's something that I learned very quickly.
In theory, anyone that plays professional football anywhere in the world would be eligible to become a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm eligible then.
Did you play pro football
I
somewhere?
got paid to play.
Where?
My high school coach.
Your high school coach paid you to play?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's a violation.
Yeah.
Who said that? No, he didn't.
I'm pretty sure.
I just want to be in the
What-
hall. I want to be in the Hall of Fame.
What was the
somewhere.
coach's name and what school was it and what year?
It was Taylorville High School.
I went to Taylor, and I promise you, they're not paying anybody to play football because they've not been good forever. So here's the breakdown, the way I understand it, for the 20 people. It's going to include 10 senior nominees, 5 modern era players, 3 contributors, and 2 coaches.
Which that's been like that for a while though, hasn't it?
Not 20, not so many, no.
Normally
Like,
it's 4 to 8.
it was 5 for years, and then they increased it to 7 once, and everybody lost their minds. And then they decided to make it so that you could go anywhere from 4 to 8.
I've heard, I don't know if this is true, it's probably confirmed out there somewhere if it is, that they're going to split it up into 2 different days to induct all these people.
That's a lot of people.
Well, 20 people, unless you keep the.
I was there for the ceremony this year, obviously, and there were 8 people. Johnny Robinson had a pre-recorded video that lasted 5 minutes, so we'll say 7 people actually gave speeches, and the thing lasted from like 7 o'clock till midnight.
I know.
So I don't know, I mean, you're talking
I
about.
mean, you'd have to run it like the Oscars,
Right,
where you limit those
You
pre-recorded
got
videos.
somebody out grabbing them by the arm. Okay, you're done.
Right.
You know, just turn the mic off. End
Yeah.
of discussion, just shut the mic down.
because they go for,
And they'll
20,
just-
25 minutes.
So you've got the presenter who gets to present them and introduce them, and then if the inductee is still alive, they get to come up and also present a speech. So,
And you know what, you're right, because Pat Bowlen didn't give a speech this year, I just thought about that, so really there's only 6.
but he still had a video, and he still had someone that gave a speech on his behalf.
He had a presenter, yeah.
So he should have had a presenter and someone that accepted on his behalf.
His family come out, but there was no
They didn't say
speech.
anything?
No.
Okay. Which is actually relatively, like, according to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that's how they do things. If you're not alive, you don't get the speech. But that's still questionable as well.
You know, Ty Law went in this year too, he's former Patriot.
Yeah, we don't say that name in the studio.
Ty Law?
No.
I just
the other
did.
one.
The
The
other
other
one,
one.
yeah.
Patriot?
The P word.
No,
I
you're
mean,
not.
he played for the team.
That's
too.
2.
You gonna throw me out?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was the
It's
third
possible,
one.
yeah,
That's
it's
it.
possible.
Good luck.
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, buddy.
Well, anyway,
Family
there was
show.
there was a big outcry on social media because he didn't take his sunglasses off during his speech. So that's not appropriate to go into the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was funny because a couple minutes later, Champ Bailey come out to give his speech. He had sunglasses on, and he said, "Well, I'll take my sunglasses off." So it was almost like he was on social media, paying attention to what was going on. I highly doubt that, though.
It might have been. Or his PR
Why
person
do they
was.
care?
Maybe.
Guarantee you he still has a PR person.
I mean, do you want the video of you going to the Hall of Fame forever to have you with sunglasses on? He did it so people wouldn't see him cry. That's what it was.
Well, yeah, I don't want somebody to see me cry.
If I go to the Hall of Fame, I'm balling like
See, I
that.
got this, cause I make it sound like I'm sweating, and yeah, that's how I get by with it.
Yeah, so that was a pretty cool experience. I stayed in Orville, Ohio while I was there. Kind of off topic, but if you ever get a chance, go check out Orville, Ohio. It's where Smucker's is headquartered.
I did not know that. I
Neither
looked
did
it up
I.
after I saw you post
Neither
that. I
did
was
I
like,
until I
huh.
drove down the road and saw it.
I didn't know.
Well, it's a
Did you
Smucker's.
tour it?
Did you go have some jelly?
So I didn't tour the actual factory, but they have like a cafe and gift shop, and I went there, which was kind of dumb because it's just like going to the jelly section at Walmart.
Really?
So, but I did have a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That was pretty good.
Nice. You can't beat a PB&J grill.
Grilled, right? So that was pretty good. But no, Orville's a pretty cool place. So that's probably where I'll stay when I go back next year for Peyton's induction.
When we go.
Right. Yeah.
One thing I
We'll have to meet
remember,
up when you get your tickets. We'll meet up somewhere.
we went to,
We're gonna drive up together.
Jeremy and I went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame for his birthday one year, and one of the things that I loved more than anything else is some of the power line posts are
Field goal
field goal
post.
posts.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
Cool.
Well, you know what's cool as a media member? You get to just go into the hall. You just walk in the media entrance, no ticket required. Just go wherever you want. So that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of pictures in there because they're like illuminating lighting or whatever lighting setup they have makes it terrible to take pictures.
I have a couple hundred if you want to use some
Mm.
light.
I have a bunch, but none of them turned out like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to use this for an article. Fun fact about pro football and its start that I discovered,
Oh, he's
rediscovered.
stepping into your territory now.
Oh.
Well, that I rediscovered while I was in Canton. Do you guys know the original football teams that started what became the NFL?
I do not.
I do, but they're in my notes.
You can't look at your
I'm
notes.
not gonna look at the notes, but no, I don't know them off the top of my head.
Did you know which ones were in Indiana?
I do not.
Anybody at home know without looking it up?
I know the Colts originated in Miami.
So the Colts were not even a twinkle in the NFL's eye when these teams came into existence. There was a team not far from here, first professional football team.
We're gonna have to go back home and watch Leatherheads.
You want me to tell you the two Indiana
yeah.
teams?
I mean, at this
You've
point,
had
you're
us in
committed,
suspense
so.
Well, I just
2
thought-
minutes
I
now.
didn't know, maybe you wanted to go home and look it up.
No, tell me.
So the Hammond Pros,
The Hammond Pros. Okay.
and the other team that's close to here, the Muncie Flyers.
And Nancy Fly.
The Flyers were so bad they only played 3 league games. True story. They got beat in their first game 45-0, and back then the teams handled their own scheduling, so no other team would schedule in the rest of the year
Just because they were so
because
bad.
they were so bad. The following season they played 2 games against league opponents and dropped both. I believe by a score of 14-0, if I remember right. And that was the end. They folded and off they went. They did, however, win the Muncie City title in, I think it was 1920, because they just played local teams since no other league teams would play them. But they were one of the original NFL teams, if you will.
football
Yeah,
teams.
yeah. The other teams include the Columbus Panhandles, Chicago Tigers, Cleveland Tigers, Detroit Heralds, Canton Bulldogs, which Gil Brandt, who was a scout for the Cowboys, I'm sure you know who he is. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, might have been before my time.
He joked that he was not a scout for the Canton Bulldogs because he's an older guy, been in the league for 50-some years. Rochester Jeffersons, Dayton Triangles, Rock Island Independents,
That's an unfortunate name.
Buffalo All-Americans, the Akron Pros, and then the 2 teams that are still in existence today, the Chicago Cardinals and the Decatur Staleys. Any guess what 2 teams those are today?
Chicago Cardinals. Are they the Bears?
No, they're actually the Arizona
I would
Cardinals.
say they're Cardinals. I knew that was one of the flagship teams. What's the other one? The Dailies?
The Decatur Staleys.
Yeah, I got nothing.
The Chicago Bears.
I was close. I got one. Almost right.
You were close, yeah. At one point in time, the Chicago Cardinals and the Chicago Bears were in the same city of Chicago.
There you go.
Very briefly before they moved to Arizona. So there's your history lesson. that I discovered while I was at the hall.
Yeah, it's fun times.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Have you ever been there?
No, I'm not.
You gotta go.
You really have to go. We went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that same weekend, and Jeremy and I were both thinking that we were just going to be like loving the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And don't get me wrong, it's a great place, but both of us got a little emotional at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Both of us did. So
It's a cool place.
It really is.
All kinds of artifacts. So
Well, we got a game tonight.
we do.
Let's bring our history timeline back up to now. We got some Colts to talk about. We got some injuries to talk about. We got some Colts camps to talk about.
Chad Kelly. Talk about Chad Kelly.
We talked
You
about
want
Chad
to talk
Kelly.
about Jack Kelly?
You know, historically speaking, Jim Kelly was Chad Kelly's uncle.
Yeah.
There's your history lesson there.
Well, that
We knew that. We actually talked about that.
I know. I'm just, just tying it in. I'm trying to do my own segue.
You like Jack Kelly?
You know what? I like his work ethic. He's been out on the field after practice every day.
He might be the first person in the history of Chad Kelly to say that.
You can't argue. He's been out on the field every day after practice. Well, after practice is over.
I think this kid's trying to make
He's-
a point. He
here's
really
the
does
thing.
need to.
I called in last week and we talked about it to an extent. He got drunk, went into the wrong house, fell asleep on somebody's couch.
Wasn't
Who
just-
hasn't done that?
There
You-
were some other things that he did that were also not the greatest things, like getting in an argument in front of 50,000 people on the field with your head coach. Don't do that.
But, I mean, if we're being fair, there are players in the league who have done far worse things.
Yes.
Who are idolized, jerseys are sold like crazy. And I think whether Chad Kelly ever plays a snap of meaningful football for any team in the NFL, I think he's unfairly vilified because he made some mistakes, right? Like,
Don't disagree, but I think that the mistake that he made in college put him on a trajectory
you
that
see that.
kind of led him into this. He's going to be destined for second string.
Well, I'm about to throw some blasphemy at you because there was a guy in Indianapolis who made a mistake, and I'm not a huge fan of. I know that you probably know where I'm going with this. I see
Number
how
one
your
on
face.
the jersey, number one in our hearts.
I tell you, you're going. McAfee, right? Got drunk, went in the canal. Great punter.
We've all heard.
Allegedly.
Okay, but
Allegedly.
I'm not. So I'm not necessarily. What I'm saying is the mistake that he made in college, that put him in a really bad direction in college, which then led to his bad direction.
I
in the
agree. I
pros.
stuck with him.
So I mean, you can't outrun the dumb.
That's fair.
You can prove that you've outgrown it, which is where he's at right now.
That's fair.
He's got to make a point. He's got to play his heart out if he wants to prove that he's good enough.
In
for
your
the
opinion,
NFL.
does he have the talent and skills to make third string quarterback?
Third string?
Third
I
string.
don't
Absolutely. If they
think
keep
he's-
three, yeah,
Over Phillip?
I think so.
I think Phillip's a bad
I know I'm in the extreme minority there.
No,
But I've been
I
to
mean,
camp-
see, when he was in college, he was really good. He just had a crappy
He
attitude.
just got to get his head out of the room.
He really does.
I've watched him in camp. He's talented. He's got an arm.
And I think
We've talked about it before. Before I say this, I have no evidence whatsoever to back this up. But I wouldn't be shocked if they trade Brissett if Kelly ends up being the quarterback.
we've actually already
Backup quarterback. Let me
we've
throw that
already
out there.
talked about that. We're
Yeah.
almost positive that it's getting traded.
Well, we talked about that at camp, what,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Last week?
We
Yeah.
talked about it last week.
Yeah, because when I called in, we talked about it. I've been told from other media members that I talked to that they don't think Brissett's going to get traded. They think the Colts believe they can re-sign him because of what happened with Teddy Bridgewater in New Orleans. I don't see it.
What did happen? Was
So-
Bridgewater?
Well, Bridgewater's coming off injuries though,
Exactly.
so that's a different story.
That's my thing. Bridgewater
Brissett's
has-
worth more.
Well, not only that, Bridgewater does have the injury past, the issues, concerns, what have you. But Drew Brees is also a heck of a lot older than Andrew Luck.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the year Brees hangs it up. Bridgewater's in position to take
Exactly.
over as a starting quarterback.
Brissett's not going to be there. for
Luck's going to be,
years.
as long as his health holds up, Luck's going to be here for another, 7, 8 or
Hopefully.
more years.
15.
No.
Yeah.
What do you want to take those magic pills?
Yeah,
that
he's-
Yeah.
He
that
ain't
guy
gonna
from
be
up north that we don't talk about takes.
Brett Favre?
No, the other north.
We laugh at that, but there was somebody hacked his Instagram account 2 months ago and posted that he was making a return to the game.
I saw that.
And people went nuts because they
Yes.
thought it was real. What is
They
he,
thought
like
it was-
50 years
I
old
don't
now?
even know.
Oh, my goodness.
He's almost as old as Adam Vinatieri.
He's got more white hair than Frank Reich does.
He might be older than Frank
I
Reich.
think he might be. Because I watched Brett Favre at training camp for the Green Bay Packers when I was a sophomore, junior in high school. It's the summer between my sophomore and my junior in high school. I went to the Packers training camp. And Brett Favre was a youngin-ish. But I watched him and that was a really long time ago, maybe 8 or 9 years.
I'm convinced that Brett Favre's never been young.
Yeah, he's always moving.
He was born looking like that, just slanging footballs.
He was fun to watch though. I've always liked Brett Favre. I can't speak about him as a person, but as a football player, he's hard nosed. He takes a hit, gets back up.
You know who reminds me of Brett Favre in today's game? You may not like this. Baker Mayfield.
I love Baker Mayfield. I love Baker
I absolutely
Mayfield
love
so
Baker
much.
Mayfield.
I mean, the dude is just like, he's Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel wasn't an idiot and had some talent.
So you can't do that because there's a curse on Browns quarterbacks. He's gonna break it. Baker Mayfield's
That's fair.
breaking the curse.
Did you see him?
Chug the beer.
Chug the
beer,
beer.
yes,
Did he bite
everybody
into the
saw
can?
that.
Yeah.
Bit into the can and drank the beer. I'm sure Colin Cowherd had a heyday with that.
Did you not see it in his tweets?
No.
I didn't actually read them because I don't really care what Colin
I
Cowherd
used
has
to
say.
really like Colin Cowherd, and then the whole just like personal vendetta that he's got going on with Mayfield, like just let it go, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Baker
One of the
Mayfield.
reasons I don't like that kind of sports media is because they're flip floppy,
Right.
and I don't like that.
Who was
Hey,
it?
you know what? If Andrew Luck has a bad game, I'm going to flat tell you, hey, Andrew sucked ass today. I don't know what was going on, but we know Andrew, he's coming back next week. We're coming back a lot harder. But these on-air talent people, they're so friggin' flip-floppy, it makes your head spin. Oh, Andrew Luck, he's got a dynasty growing, and then, oh, his calf, he's always hurt, and he's not going to amount to nothing. I was like, what kind of reporting is it? You can be a reporter, a fan, and do your job at the same time, I believe.
You know what reporting that is? It's for the views.
Yeah, and that's, to me, that's sickening.
If you can twist the fan base into a frenzy, you're gonna get a lot more hits than you know.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck's calf sore, but he's gonna be okay. Okay, well, why would I click on that? That's the people that we talked about earlier. I can't remember the name of the outlet, and I won't call them out by name on air, but the outlet that, every time something happens in the NFL, star player might sign with new team. It's like really,
Yeah.
it's like a third string offensive lineman signs with a
I
team.
hate people like that. Just be real.
Just put out quality work and people will find you.
Okay,
I think so.
so getting back to football that's going to happen today,
Today, and
is Kelly playing today?
Chad Kelly?
think he is, yes.
Yeah, he's not listed on the guys that aren't gonna dress.
So when are they going to try and play all three of them?
Luck's not playing.
No, well, no, I was talking
Oh,
about
Brissett,
Brissett,
Walker.
Phil
Walker,
Walker,
and
and
Kelly.
Kelly.
I believe they are.
Yeah, I think Brissett will
I
probably
believe
take
they are.
first team, and then what about second quarter? I would say Walker or Kelly, depending on which way
Well-
they decide to go, come in, and then the other will finish.
I think we'll find out if your belief in Brissett is true or not today. If he goes past the first quarter, they're prepping him for something to get more value out
I
of him.
don't think they'll go past the first
I
drive.
don't, yeah, I don't
'Cause-
see him because they don't want him injured. If
Yeah.
they're going to trade him, they can't risk an injury.
They'll have him out for about the first drive or two, and then next week's where we'll see him probably for the first quarter. Week 3 we'll see him first half
The
and
more-
first 3 quarters.
My point is, the more we see him on the field within these preseason games, the more they're trying to boost his value.
You mark my words, if they trade him, here's how it'll happen. He'll play about 2 drives tonight. He'll play the first half week 2. First half, first 3 quarters week 3, and week 4 of the preseason they'll trade him. He'll be gone.
Because I like Brissett.
I know, but you got a hell of a backup with Phil Walker, and you got a potentially more amazing backup with Chad Kelly if he can pull his head out of this.
He just seems like the guy you'd want to hang out on the couch with, I'm telling you.
And Brissett deserves a starting position.
I'm not saying he
He is
doesn't.
good enough to get a starting position.
I agree. I agree 100%. I'm not arguing any of those facts. I'm just saying I hate to see him go.
I understand.
I like Brissett.
I know you do.
And
I
Les
like having
Brissett-
that. What do you want to call it?
That cushion.
that
Security
cushion,
blanket.
That little
the
safety
security
blanket, yeah.
blanket behind you in case something does happen.
But at the same time, what we're doing here is we're gonna audition Philip Walker and Chad Kelly, and one of them is gonna become the new safety net. They both have the talent, they both have the ability. Who's gonna be the better option for the Colts?
Right now, I'm saying Philip Walker.
Well, that's because Philip Walker's been with theirs. And
You
then
know
on
my
top of
problem
that,
with
Philip
Philip
Walker, he can't stay on the practice team after this year. So,
You know my problem with Philip Walker? They've cut him several times, and no other team has come in and picked him up.
yeah. Why?
I mean, if he's that great of a backup, why is no team picking him
And
up?
after this year, if he just makes the practice team again, he's done. That's the end of it for him.
Is that a rule?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only
play
do, what,
practice team for 3
3
years.
years, yeah.
Wow.
Alright. That's why I was just cut this off season. That's why I'm here. It was a rough transition.
He was the practice team's water boy.
I was tackling dummy. Thank you. I got promoted after year 1,
Sorry.
so.
Nice. So what's your predictions for tonight's game, Colton?
I called you giving it to the Bills just because they don't
Glorified
want to
practice.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
let's
it
go.
is.
Somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose.
Bills are winning.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens at wide receiver.
Yeah.
You know, Paris Campbell's not going to play. There's a lot of talent in that wide receiver room. A lot of talent.
And I've already dubbed them the Smoke Squad.
Well, it'll be
So if
interesting to
anybody
see.
makes a meme with all our receivers and puts Smoke Squad on there, I better get credit for it.
It'll be interesting to
I'm
see
going to do
how
it and trademark it.
Kane and Logan work out with Walker and Kelly.
Well, Reese Fontaine has been making headlines in practice. You know, everybody forgets about
He's
him.
been showing up.
You got
Yeah.
Kane, you got Funchess, who I've
I have
heard
seen-
mixed things about. I've seen him make plays.
I have
I've seen him do
seen
stuff.
both. I've seen drops and I've seen some hell of catches from Funchins. So I'm still not.
Well, so maybe
100%
Funchess needs to come out and play
sold on
tonight.
You know what? He really has a lot to live up to because everybody immediately dubbed it. Well, look at Eric Ebron last year. Nobody liked that signing and he balled out. That's not a typical thing, right?
Yeah, this
Like-
could be the second coming for Funchins like it was
Right.
with Ebron. Yeah, I
Like if he
remember.
doesn't come out and just, you know, make the Pro Bowl or set the league on fire, people are like, oh, it didn't work
That
out.
was a bad. That was a
Right.
bad pickup.
You know, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the NFL you have to spend a certain amount of your cap space each year, correct?
No,
I think you do.
I think you do.
you have, if I remember right, X amount of years to be under a certain cap. Then you get penalized. But the money doesn't go to the NFL. What money that's not spent on your salary cap goes to the players.
But I believe that in the CBA, you have to spend a certain amount of your available salary cap to meet a certain floor level.
That could be true. I don't-
Which is one of the
Can't say.
reasons I would say they probably signed Funchess for a $13 million 1-year contract. If he works out great. If not, it's 1 year and you're gone.
Gotta spend the money on this.
Right. So, you know, I mean, the Colts just, they have a ton of money. They're not hurting for
And
money.
who was that we just picked? That running back we picked up from.
Was it
Texans.
Deontay Freeman?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. I saw the Texans wave to him, and I had thought, I bet he goes to the Colts, but I didn't tweet it or anything. I wish I would have. And literally, like next day, Colts claimed Deontay Freeman off, waivers.
Yeah, he's a tough back. He's a good, strong power
The
back.
Texans cut him because they didn't like his work ethic, so we'll see.
Yeah, I can't
That's
see.
not gonna work here. If you
I
don't
can't
have
see
good
Ballard
work
picking
ethic
somebody
under Reich,
up.
You're
I can
gonna,
see them picking him up just to kick the tires off the waiver wire, and if that doesn't work out, they'll cut him before the season starts. But if it works out, it's a hell of a pickup. Also, they brought in Brandon Marshall last week.
Yeah,
to,
that was a
work
kick
out.
the tires. For
I
sure.
think what that was is, if all else fails and you get hit by injury bugs all season, let's know what's out there, right?
Yeah.
And it also could have been, I saw somebody talk about maybe it was a move to motivate some of the younger guys. You see the name come in for a workout, it's like, well, we better work hard because, our positions aren't secure.
Well, that's crazy too, because everybody's been talking about that since before camp started. That everybody's fighting for position. That it's not going to be easy to make this team this year, or as easy as it was in the previous years. You know what I mean? So that mentality should never have left any of those young guys.
Yeah, but you never know with those guys.
Yeah.
If you bring somebody in for a workout, it doesn't cost you anything, to my knowledge. Why not? Kick the tires on a big name and motivate your team at the same time. It's a win-win.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Similar position to wide receiver, defensive backs. The Colts are ridiculously deep in the secondary. Like, they're going to cut some guys this year that probably would have started last year. Like, not started, they would have been in the rotation. So that's going to be something to watch too, just about the whole lineup of defensive backs. I'm interested to see how they perform tonight.
What do you think about that EJ Speed? Darius Leonard's out there saying he reminds me of me.
I love you.
You know what, man? I don't know what to think about him. He looks really good in practice. We'll see what he looks like in games. I mean, I literally found a game footage tape of him in white jerseys playing in the snow from about 60 yards in the air.
I
watched it.
shared a couple back when we first,
Yeah.
back in April. I found a couple.
Yeah, I mean, like, but
He's quick.
playing against, like, what, D2 talent? I like him if he shows up like he does in practice. We'll see.
But he did lead that D2 team to the championship.
That's fair. That's fair, but, we'll see.
From what I've seen of him, he's all over the place.
I'm not ready to write him off, but I'm also not ready to, people are talking about he could be the next Darius Leonard.
Defensive
Yeah,
rookie of the
that's-
year this year.
Yeah, it's,
Right, I'm with you there. But from what I've seen, and I can't say that I've watched every play that he's done or anything of that sort, but from what I've seen, he's fast. He's got a good nose for the ball. I think we're gonna see him play this year.
I was told among NFL circles that he really blew up and went up stock on draft boards right before the draft. So, a lot of interest in him. We'll see.
He's a talented kid. I mean, if you watch some of the tape of him, his feet are amazing.
I mean, we all know my favorite draft pick.
Right.
I've been high on him since the Senior Bowl.
Well, and he seems like he's a solid.
He's a friggin' chisel.
Yeah, there's
People
no
out there
question
are
about
acting
him.
surprised that he's going to take Quincy Wilson's spot. Sorry.
I'm not surprised.
He's good. He's a former wrestler.
He's damn good and he's showing out.
Yeah. Well, the last camp practice I was at was before the Hall of Fame game. And, he's making plays out there jawing with wide receivers like it's a game. I love it. Love the attitude. Bring it.
I got a rookie card and I got him to sign it.
Did you?
Yeah, one of the days I was out. Yeah. I was real happy about that one.
What's going on with the tight ends? Any news there?
I don't have any.
Doyle was nursing something.
He's not playing tonight.
No.
No.
He's not
Uh,
nursing.
what the hell was he nursing? He's been out of practice, out of camp.
Was it a hamstring?
No. Ow. I can't remember what it was.
I said at the start of the off season that he was a candidate to get cut,
Really?
I-
Why?
and people hated me for it.
I don't disagree with it.
There's a lot of talent in the Colts tight end.
I like Doyle.
Not that the Colts need money, but if they were going to cut anybody for salary cap and just to save some space, it would be Jack Doyle.
Yeah, because he is replaced already with Ebron. And last year, all I seen of Mo Allen Cox was on the field, and he looked like just a tall, skinny dude. I got to camp, and he's a friggin' walking tree.
He's pretty good. There's a guy, what is it? I can't think of his name. It's not Ross Travis. Maybe Hale? Hale's his first name? Like Hale. There's some tight end, I think 86 is his number.
86, yeah.
And he's been showing out.
Yeah.
I can't think of the guy's name.
I'll have to get my little booklet.
But he's looked good too. I mean, the Colts, there's a lot of talent there. So we're getting to that point, and I hate to say it, but we're gonna see some of these, older big names move on as the young talent develops.
Hale Hentish?
Yeah, there you go. That guy.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to agree with you on that because you get used to players, you get to liking what they've done, you got to meet them, get their autograph, things like that. But no, you're right. These young guys are coming in, they're determined, and
I mean, this is a year for the Colts we haven't seen in a long time. It used to be like, oh, I really like this guy. He's going to make the team. We have holes here, here, and here. Now it's like, oh, I really like this guy, but he's probably like a third or fourth stringer. There's people that you legitimately like that are going to get cut.
And I'll tell you, though, I'm a defensive guy. Always have been my entire life. I have not seen a defensive crew this talented ever on the Colts.
No, I don't think so.
ever on the Colts, but in the NFL span that I can remember. Besides, I was too young with the Steel Curtain and Dick Butkus and, Singletary and all those guys. But all positions on our defense are solid. If we are not a top 3 defense by the end of the year, man, I don't know what I'm going to say anymore.
I'm not ready to put them there yet with the Steel Curtains and the
Well,
great
no,
defenses. but-
because those guys, they've got multiple years
yeah.
of doing that. This is our first year with this group, but
I can see them getting there.
with this group, they can definitely get there.
The best defense in recent memory I can think of would probably be like the Ravens, mid 2000s, early
Yes.
2000s Ravens. Like I said, I was in Canton last week, and you look at some of the people that were on that defense; they're all Hall of Famers now.
Yep.
And they have a couple more guys to go in. Wow, what a squad that was. So we could potentially see this develop into that, but a lot that plays into it. Health, obviously salary. Ballard does pretty good with salary, but it seems like every year in free agency, people get uptight when he doesn't sign, the newest 36-year-old on the market for $40 million
Yeah.
or more. So, we'll see.
They win the Super Bowl, they better not say they were worried about Ballard. And I honestly believe that we're winning the Super Bowl this year.
We'll see.
Will we?
I mean, it's early.
I can see it. I'm not gonna guarantee it, but I can see them.
Oh, I can't. The only thing I'm going to guarantee is that Jesus loves you and you're going to die one day.
I'm never gonna die.
That's it.
I'm gonna live forever.
You won't.
My articles on the internet, they'll be there forever.
No, that's not you, though.
My legacy.
No, it's still not you.
You die twice.
Yes.
Right. When you die, and then when the last time somebody thinks about you. It's deep. I've given you
Wow.
history.
Crazy stuff.
I've given you
Dalton.
history and philosophy.
Dalton.
Yeah. Now my head hurts.
Man.
I'm just saying.
You know I'm a simpleton.
Multifaceted.
Why do you do that to me?
Multifaceted.
Jeez. We're gonna end the show.
I was gonna say, I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah. I also want to remind you guys before we go, our amazing draft party on Sunday,
Oh yeah, what time is that?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock on
at the
Sunday
studio.
here at the studio. If you need directions, those of you that are coming, let me know. Also, remember, we don't have extra chairs, so bring your own.
Yeah, we're not.
And whatever you want to drink. We've got water. If you want something besides water, we're probably gonna grab some pizza. Make sure you guys are fed, but we don't have chairs.
No chairs.
We have no chairs.
Alright, so that's your final thoughts?
That is it. Yeah, that's all I got.
Dalton, what's your final thoughts about?
Very excited for this partnership that we're about to undertake.
Awesome, I am too.
So,
It's got a ton of possibilities.
yeah, and
Ton of
like I
possibilities.
said, I can't mention enough. I'm also bringing a big team of writers with me, so it's manpower.
That's awesome.
So. And don't worry, you can cover the Cowboys and whatever else goes on down here.
Mm,
I got you.
mm.
I've been to AT&T Stadium in the press box. They have the best mac and cheese. Dead serious. I was there for the Cotton Bowl.
I hate mac and cheese.
You like the Beach Grove Bowl Mac Bites.
Never had 'em.
You guys get them all the
They're
time.
pretty
Jenny
good.
eats them. I don't.
I've seen you.
I have not.
I have.
No, I get the chicken.
Tony, you got any final thoughts?
Somebody commented.
Do you have any thoughts at all?
How we did tonight?
Pretty good.
Lila was pretty good.
Lila was well behaved, yeah.
Well, she in
Stayed
there
with
asleep.
that,
Well, for my final thoughts, all I can say is our future for the Colts has never looked brighter. Never ever. I'm so excited to get this season going. And for everybody out there that keeps talking about Lex Calf, stop. You stop. It's going to be okay. He's not really hurt.
So it's not.
Get this.
Get him out.
Somebody stop
Yeah,
this guy.
this is, yeah.
Stop this guy right now. You know my head can't take all that stuff.
We have Chad Kelly. It's okay. I'm just kidding. Chad Kelly's not a starting quarterback.
I don't think he ever will be.
But anyways,
Back up.
Christian,
Pretty good
thank
backup.
you for coming in here and filling in for Coach.
Yeah, it was hair raising, but fine.
You know, but feeding him Chipotle or something because he can't make it in.
It's not my fault. I'm not you.
It's Chipotle.
It's cute.
He's eating some crazy
I
stuff.
would never feed that poor guy Chipotle. I know better than that. I make better than that.
I love Chipotle.
I'm sorry for your taste in food.
It's okay.
Then-
Shout out to K Pasta Mexican Food in Norville, Ohio.
There you go. K-Possum?
No, not K Possum. K Possum.
It sounded like he
They
said
look like
K-Possum.
Mexican food. Your life will never be the
K
same.
pasta's so good. They'll never hear this, but K pasta's awesome.
Hey, you never know.
I'm gonna tag them in it.
We got a pretty good reach.
So we went to the Jeremy and I stopped at the liquor store one day on the way to the show.
That's
we
a
just-
shock.
Shut up. So we told the guys at the counter there were 3 of them that day. We were like, yeah, we do a sports show. You should watch us. And they do.
Nice.
There
So
you
the
go.
next time we went in, they're like, hey, we couldn't hear you guys. Like the sound was really wonky, especially you. And I was like, well, I wasn't really mic'd that time. And he was just like, yeah, but you had some great things to say. I was like, wow, we really did listen. So
There you
yeah, bring it up next time you go in. Bring it up.
We're
No.
Somerville, Ohio, so.
Oh, that's valid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I'll
valid.
drive
Call
up.
him.
Right. Hey guys.
I shouted out to you because I enjoyed
Yeah,
your
free
food.
burrito.
Next year.
Their feed is really good. Anyway.
Dalton, thank you, sir, for coming in.
Absolutely.
Always appreciate your knowledge of the game, the people. You definitely got your finger on the pulse, brother.
It's all fake.
It fooled the hell out of me. But we appreciate you coming down. We know you got a long drive, so we're going to sign off here. You guys be good to each other. Remember, no drinking and driving. And as always, go Colts.
Fish.